Hey, Bill, welcome back to Rising Giants. We last had you on the podcast in January, or we recorded with you at the beginning of 2023 in January. And that was when we were doing that great event together, the Startup and Innovation Festival. So, yeah, it's been 2 years since having you on Rising Giants. So, first of all, just like, how are you doing and what's been going on?
Yeah, so thanks, Max, for having me come back here. Yeah, I'm doing well. Everything is going quite well in the last couple of months. We have some exciting things and events and activity coming up this
Yeah.
year.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, yeah, I think a lot's changed actually. Like when we were doing our startup innovation festival in like 2023, I feel like the momentum and the excitement around startups and technology was quite high, right? And this
Right.
was the launch of Chat GPT. And I remember
Mm.
on one of the panels we had like Mong Ko and Langda, and we were talking about like AI.
Yeah.
And I feel like since then, I wouldn't say we've lost energy, but there's definitely been like a bit of a lull period where the economy has kind of calmed down a bit, and the VC money and like that kind of thing has slowed up a bit. So I feel like the startup space in Cambodia is still doing well, but has slowed down a bit. Would you
Right.
agree?
Right. I believe this because of like part of the global economy, it
Right.
affect what happening in Cambodia as well. You see at the business sector, SME in general, is slowing down.
Right.
As with the startup as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because we also do some investments in startups, and we definitely noticed that like at least in the last few years there haven't been that many new startups created, but there are like a lot of founders that have like kind of soldiered through and got through it all. So that's good to see. I mean, there are a lot of people that have managed to get through this period and come out the other side. So
Yeah, like those who come out stronger, they push this through. I believe, like you mentioned, there are not that many.
mm,
I would say more recognizable new startup in the
yeah.
past couple of years, but I see a lot of potential founders that they do great things now.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. What would you say is what would you say is like the sectors of startups that you think are like have you seen the most like new momentum coming? What particular sectors?
I think recently, edtech,
Mm.
educational technology startup, start to pop up.
Yeah.
Quite many sector in the sector as well, and they also start to have some blockchain related startup
Mm.
coming out as well. Although they're still small in term number, and of course there are also agri-tech because recently there's a lot of programs and funds toward agriculture technology
Mm.
related
Mm.
project and startup as well. Yeah.
Okay. And what about like startup events? Have you seen a lot of startup events? I mean, I know you're very very involved with that. What have been some that you're looking forward to or have seen put together?
Currently, I would say there are few startup event here and there,
Mm.
but is in terms of scale, it's still in a small scale,
Mm.
and I believe they are come down to the momentum of the
Mm.
startup ecosystem here as well. So, but I'm looking forward to see more
Mm.
later this year or in the future.
Let's talk about something that you're working on this year. So you're working on the Cambodia Blockchain Summit, which is taking place on March 30th. Is that
Right.
right? That's
Correct.
a
Yes.
Sunday. That's a Sunday.
Yeah.
That's a Sunday. So how did that come together? Talk to me about why did you end up wanting to do that event?
Okay, so full disclosure, I'm not into trading
Mm.
it myself, but I've been aware of the blockchain space,
Mm.
crypto, NFT, all this space for quite a while now, and I've been in touch with the community, the
Mm.
blockchain community, and just last year we have a talk with one of my partner, Freya,
Yeah.
who is the founder of Cambodia Blockchain Community. And we have this idea that now that last year, there are some release and some doors open for blockchain space in Cambodia, meaning
What are those? Yeah. What happened?
so there's from the ministry, from the Cambodian government,
Yeah.
they start to allow offer the license for crypto and digital asset exchange.
Yes.
So
Because right now there's only really RGX, right?
yeah,
That is
so
the
currently there's one that officially got
Yeah.
the license, which is Royal Group Exchange,
Yeah.
OGX. But more international exchange coming in.
Yes.
They are also in application process. So now we start to see this openness from the government.
Right.
That's why with our discussion, and another one is we talk with the National University of Management. They have a new faculty called Faculty of Digital Economy, which is focused on blockchain technology in general. So we come together with all these stakeholders. We decide to organize this event, Cambodia Blockchain Summit. Yeah, the idea of this event, we want it to be a platform for all the stakeholders in blockchain technology in Cambodia and abroad come together, including developers, traders, all these tech startups that use blockchain in their solutions, and all these tech enthusiasts. They can come together and exchange ideas,
Right.
learn from each other, and raise awareness about blockchain, because blockchain and technology is quite broad. The usage is very important for digital economy in Cambodia, and with the government want to push through to digital transformation. So I think this is the platform that we can help to bridge the gap to there.
Well, yeah. You mean you only have to look at what Thailand's doing next door, right? I mean,
Right.
they hosted DevCon, in November. It's the largest Ethereum conference of the year.
Yeah.
And I think that created a lot of momentum and excitement for the Southeast Asia blockchain community.
Right.
I was able to attend, and it was really cool to see. And I think Thailand's one of those economies where, they've got a pretty good startup space in general, and they've pushed on a lot of different things. But I think what they realize is they actually have quite a lot of good developers in the country, and they're trying to think like which sectors can they like specialize in that has global like ramifications. And I think the interesting thing about crypto broadly is crypto's only been around for 15 years, right?
Right.
The Bitcoin white paper came out in 2008, and we already have 600 million crypto wallets on the planet.
That's
And-
crazy.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
there's only 600 million stock accounts.
Right.
But I think what a lot of people miss is most of the new crypto wallets that are being created are not in the developed world or like the rich world. It's actually a lot in Africa, a lot in Asia.
Right.
India is huge, and UAE, Thailand, all these countries. So I think a lot of people see it as a way. I mean, Bitcoin specifically, it's a store of value, right? Like you just had the Bitcoin
Right.
reserve come out of the US, and I think a lot of other countries are going to follow suit. And then, I think for a lot of people sitting like living in, like let's say a place like Cambodia or Thailand, like we also when we look at our local stock markets, they're not necessarily that well realized yet, right? So you
Right.
can like obviously on the CSX you can go and buy about 20 stocks, but of course in crypto you can go and buy thousands and thousands
Right.
of things. So I think for a lot of young people, it's an asset class that seems to make sense, and it's quite you can engage with it, and it's like more about like community and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a really interesting niche for like for Cambodia to focus on. So do you see that's like a clear perspective from the government here and from the public sector that they want to turn Cambodia into like an epicenter of that industry?
Yes, so I believe so, because recently there's a news coming out that the Prime Minister and also related ministry. They want to turn Cambodia into more like digital hub for all things related to digital solution, all the tech startup, all this technology that they want to have connect and push grow the economy in Cambodia. So I believe blockchain is one of the key factor in making that happen. We already see this in use like Bakong,
Right, back home,
among
yeah.
all the local bank here in Cambodia, and also they have this interchange with partnership with bank in Thailand, in other country as well, and other use case like in Wing they have Wing Coin, Tada they have this
Yes.
blockchain based system. So we start to see all this in our daily use case already. Just that we need people to understand how they can tap into this and they can take advantage of the technology itself. And as we been organizing the summit over this several months, we start to get in touch with many different blockchain communities in Cambodia. Actually, we have more than 10 different blockchain community in Cambodia.
Wow.
So people don't know that, but
What would you say some of the biggest ones are for people listening in, that if they want to join one of these communities,
so
what's...
one of the biggest one is Web3 Together.
Yes,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's a
that's
good one.
one of the biggest one. And then we have a few more like more niche into certain like NFT into this smaller niche. But what we do is we partner with them. So on the event, the summit itself on March 30, most of them we join together, and so throughout the whole day we will have panel discussion, we have keynotes, we have workshops that will be share on specific topic related to blockchains and its use case, and of course we have a startup showcase. So we invite 12 different startups that they have been using blockchain in their solutions, and by the evening time we will have a blockchain community meetup where there will be representative from all those 10 plus community come together. So then that's the time that we get to talk and exchange idea and how we can grow this space. Yeah.
And what about your discussions with some of the founders in the space? What would you say most of them are working on within Web3 or blockchain?
Yes. So many of them are developer themselves.
Yeah.
So they working on related blockchain related ecosystem solution as well, projects. But it's not turned into a real business yet. It's I would say that they're working on as a can say hobby project.
Hobby
right?
project.
Yeah, but they have passion in this. Even now we recruit some volunteers, some young team to join our team. I'm surprised to know that many of them they've been touched and know about blockchain quite a lot. They've been a trader themselves. They know what crypto, all this technology is about,
Right.
and some of course got scammed or something.
Of course, yeah. That's
yeah, but
sadly the space.
actually that's one of the goal of the summit, and also our future plan is to raise awareness about how you can be safe and also thrive in this ecosystem, blockchain ecosystem, right?
Yeah, when it's too good to be true, that usually means it
Right,
is.
right. So for what I heard from the people in the community, especially people who first timer into this space, they got scam, meaning reason being like the greed, like you want quick money, you buy into this quick money scam. So the idea is we want them to understand more. If they want to invest into this, it's an investment, but they have to know, like it's stock, right? You have to have some knowledge before you decide to invest in
Right,
any
you don't
particular.
just find a meme coin and then just
Right.
But of course, with something like that, I mean, most people should should be aware that those have absolutely no fundamentals. You're just trading
Yeah.
something that's funny, or it's a community.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I remember I got one statistic that was interesting. I remember actually when we had, I can't remember what festival it was, but I remember that the Binance team were at the event, and they were mentioning that they just crossed 200,000 Binance accounts.
Yes.
In Cambodia, and I mean that's a lot. I mean that's a lot of people, right? So it's like you sort of. I mean, I think there's maybe 50,000 stock accounts in the country. And last time I checked with like on the CSX, but yeah, I mean, so just one exchange already has 200,000 accounts. I mean, of course, they're going through. That was a different period where they had a different kind of setup, but of course they're now going through their licensing, their proper licensing process. So yeah, I mean, but anyway, I just found that fascinating. That yeah, I mean, there is a lot of people that are engaged with this stuff. The question is, how many of those people are speculators, and how many of them are actually here for the long term,
Right.
and wanting to build things. Yeah, I think that's one guy that I definitely respect a lot on Web3 and blockchain is Ritti, right? He's been, he's been building throughout the whole period, and what they're doing with Selendra is pretty fascinating. So wish them the best. Are there any other kind of standout companies that you would like highlight as blockchain blockchain companies based out of Cambodia that have done some interesting things?
Yes, so I would say, so Rati, he will be one of our speaker at the summit as well.
Great.
And beside this, in Cambodia, I would say we don't have that big blockchain related company yet. But of course, we have OGX, which is one of our main sponsors as well.
Great.
I think the momentum here is that back in a couple of years ago, there's a momentum you mentioned about Binance. They stir the pot, they kind of bring this momentum and excitement about blockchains, about crypto into Cambodia. But it kind of died down, like you mentioned earlier. But now we start to see the reviving of this excitement and curiosity among all the young people, all these people who are the player in this field. So
maybe we can encourage Cambodia to create their own strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Hopefully,
that would be great. Yeah.
So that's maybe it can be in our pipeline. We can discuss about this.
I think if Cambodia did that, it would be huge, because right now in the world, like obviously El Salvador did it, and actually their economy has really transformed a lot, to like positively since they did that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like completely correlated, but the new president there has also like been able to work on a bunch of other stuff that's improved the country. But yeah, I mean, there hasn't been that many countries that have done it yet. I mean, I know the UAE is definitely already de facto been accumulating like the Gulf countries. So I think that there will be more announcements of more countries following suit.
Right.
Because when the US says, we're going to have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and I think the language of how they announced that is interesting. But basically, they said that they would find budget neutral ways to acquire more Bitcoin, which is, there's actually a lot of ways you can acquire Bitcoin in a budget neutral way. Like you can, if you save money in one place, you can allocate it somewhere else.
Right.
And you can also look at what you have in your existing reserves and convert those over. So I find that definitely an interesting. It's an interesting time. I think the issue with crypto right now, in terms of like the markets, is you've got obviously Donald Trump just got into power, and he always the first 3-4 months of his administration, everyone's trying to figure out what's he going to do next, right? And what's he going to tweet about next? And I think the issue with all these like tariffs that he's putting in place has definitely like spooked the overall like macro market. And so that normally impacts crypto. But I think long term, over the next few years, especially on Bitcoin specifically, I'd be very surprised if it doesn't at least like retain and keep going in a positive direction. So yeah, but there is also just a lot of there is a lot of founders and people in the space that aren't here for great reasons, right? As you say, there's a lot of scams, right? So
Right.
I think the whole like last year was all about meme coins, and I think now that's kind of past, and most people aren't interested in investing in those.
Right.
They'd rather actually invest in projects that are actually doing something of value, right?
Right. I think that negativity come from scam, all this news that happening in the past couple of years would say die down this excitement and investment in this space. And in Cambodia, pretty much affects by this as well. So I believe, as I said earlier, is because we have some opening from the government on this space. So we believe that starting from this event, moving forward, we have the long-term goal to form the association, blockchain association in Cambodia,
Right.
As a platform that we can liaison between the government, public sector, and the private sector, and hopefully can thrive this community and ecosystem. And after this event, the summit, we have a host regular community gathering and events for blockchain space as well.
And how many of the ministries are coming for the event? Is it going to be quite a lot of them?
So we currently have a couple confirmed so far. So we have the National Bank of Cambodia. We have the representative there to join, and we have.
Oh, good. Okay, you managed to make that happen.
So the team that working on Bakong, they will join
Great.
us to say about their what they're doing as well. Actually, they're doing great thing with Bakong.
I mean, that had a lot of great attention. I mean, I remember when
Yeah.
like there was interviews on CNN and
Right.
lots of big attention on Cambodia when that was announced. Yeah.
Yeah. So and we also have Ministry of Telecom joining in. They also do some great thing about blockchain related project. Yes. Something they're working on like Verify is a blockchain based certification program. So currently all the students they can get this certificate that they can scan a QR code. They can claim and verify their certificate through that as well. And we also have a Ministry of we also have a Ministry of Education joining in. So actually the program that we do here is have implication in education space as well. Yeah. So I think this is the some of the ministry that we're joining in, and we working on invite some more that can see this potential in blockchain space to join as well. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. We're very much looking forward to attending and being part of the summit. Yeah, I think it's overall just like a good space to see more people focusing on it.
Right.
And more developers. One like on the challenges side, I'm actually curious, like when you talk to founders in the space, one thing I'd be quite curious to understand is what do you think is the level of developer, like blockchain or smart contract developers that are here right now? Is that a concern that anyone has? Like when you're building a team of, I mean, of course we now got, I mean, AI can do so much of the coding for you now, which is crazy. But yeah, what's been your experience talking to founders and understanding that part of the equation?
Right. So I believe related to the founder, because in Cambodia we don't have the developer that specifically experts in blockchain. Right. So, but we have a lot of talented developer here. So one of the I would say challenge for them is to find the developer they willing to jump into this space because the blockchain related business is still not thriving yet in Cambodia. So it's hard for them to pay for developer to work in this field, and also the like you mentioned the smart contracts and all this. We don't have many people that working on this uh, as their full-time job. They, like I mentioned earlier, it's more like their hobby. They, a lot of people, they like this space, but they're not having this as their full-time job or their main business yet. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, I think that's definitely one of the challenges, and then yeah, it's just then being able to put together a team and raise capital. Um, yeah, that can also be complicated. Like
Right.
if you're launching like a token,
Yeah.
that's not always. I mean, you can always raise equity, but yeah, the token side of things can get a bit messy and complicated.
Yeah, so you mentioned about the token, all this. Only Slantra is one of the local one that they kind of did it quite well in their launching, but the rest we don't have. And Binance is not a good example. But for so far, we still looking forward to more success story from this. Yeah, and also investment in this field. A lot of VCs in Cambodia and international, they don't look into investment in this space. Yeah, so it's quite challenging for them to raise some fund to grow and scale their business and their startup. Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, and what about you? Do you invest in the space? Like, would you say you have like more investments in crypto than in stocks or in the stock market?
For personally,
Yeah.
I have some investment, but not that much in this space. As you may know, is in Cambodia is still not there yet. But I've been keeping an eye on this space. Hopefully, it will go up.
What's
In the long.
your like? Is there a favorite project that you have, or like favorite founder in the space that you look up to? You
I
listen
would
to?
say my favorite founder in the space would be Rati of Salendra, and also Mr. Sang.
Oh yeah, Sang. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. From now with IG. Yeah.
yeah. Now he with the IG group. So yeah, two of the, I would say, more experienced founder here, and they kind of lead the community
Yeah.
of young people of all these developer to still thrive and stay interested in this space.
Right.
Yeah.
What about like globally? Do you follow any of the other like the bigger like these big communities globally, like people like Vitalik from Ethereum or
For globally, I follow Ethereum
yeah,
founders.
yeah,
I like how they are if you compare with a Bitcoin, that's second most valuable, and they still keep developing, keep
right,
pushing the community. They have this conference that happening in Thailand, like
yeah,
we mentioned earlier last year. So this kind of mindset and mentality of the founder that kept pushing this envelope in this space, and I hope we can have founder that in Cambodia to have similar mindset and thrive in this space as well. Yeah.
yeah. I think that's half the thing, right? It's like is people that have done well
Yeah.
at something or understand it is then passing that back to the younger generation.
Right.
I think you also mentioning we discussed as I think something that's interesting that's developing here, at least in the startup space, is that a lot of these founders that have done well, or like let's say they've got an exit or they've done well at whatever they've been up to, they're now deciding, okay, maybe we will come together and create our own kind of angel network or investment club, and then invest in the new wave of founders coming through. So maybe if you can share more about that, that would also be good to hear.
Yeah. So actually, currently, myself and several founders, startup founder, we come together to form a new company that we focus on identifying startup and founders who are serious about their solution, about their product, and who want to scale, want to get some capital into our program. We will provide mentorships, and we will provide all this necessary knowledge and resource for them to be able to get fund locally from the angel and VC here and internationally as well. So the idea is we want to have grow this startup because we have seen over the past several years there's many startup related program, but
Too many.
too many.
That's, I
Too
think
many
that's
to
the
count. But
you want quality over quantity, right?
yeah, but throughout this program, what we see is that one of the challenge is it's easy to join this program and win some prize and have this idea in place, but it's hard for them after the program to still continue their vision to have the product in the market
Well, the
for
other
long run. Yeah.
the other quite obvious thing that I always found is that a lot of the people that are running these programs or that are organizing them, I mean, I think it became a trend where a lot of the NGOs and people like that, it was trendy to like launch an accelerator incubator and be involved in like spurring entrepreneurship. But the problem with, I mean, that's great in and of itself. But if you have people that haven't had startup experience,
Right.
Who've only come from they've come from, let's say, the development world, it's a very different mindset and process that's required. Like, putting together like stakeholders in a room is not what builds a startup, right? You've got to have this. You've got to move forward and break things, and you've got to be super lean and just keep going. So I think sometimes the attitude and the perspectives that they get from those accelerators that are being run by, let's say, the people in the development sector, it's not the right attitude, right? So I think you want, I mean, of course, if they were giving lots of capital, you'd be like, okay, fine, whatever. But for some, I think it's actually a bit of a waste of time, to be perfectly honest. And so for a lot of these founders, it's focusing on which programs are actually being run by people that you can learn from because they have a track record in actually doing startups, and then which ones are actually providing capital, or they're just kind of pretending that they're going to introduce you to investors, but it never actually happens. So I think that, to me, those are the two key things: is you need more investors to be running these programs, clear connections to investors, and then also more people with startup experience running these programs. So, and that would, I mean, it's easier said than done, right? It's great that we had that first wave, but the next wave, I think, it's a great development what you guys are working on, because it's exactly what's needed.
Right. So we see this like you mentioned. So this startup, actually, I've been mentoring and provide some trainings and mentoring to all this program before over the years, and I see many potential on this founder. But what it needs is the right people to guide them. I would say all this program they did quite good thing in their own. They create these new founders and new ideas and new initiative, new projects. And what we need is we support and working with this program ecosystem that have already done this program. We not try to compete with them, but we more like to complement them by getting all these founders who are, I would say, serious about this and join the program, and with all the expertise from our founders who have done starting their own business, raising capital, all this to help get them ready to go to the next stage. And our goal is to help them raise 3A and 3B funds in the long run.
Okay. And when will that launch? When are you guys going to launch that?
So actually we plan to launch this quite soon in next couple months. So keep an eye on that.
There you go.
Yes, we will make an announcement on our social media as well. Yeah, but for now we want to keep it with low key. But we will make announcement very soon. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. I think it's one of the things I've observed here is like a lot of the people that, well, if you talk too loud and it's great to talk and
Yeah.
say that you're doing big things.
Yeah.
But it's then if you don't follow up with
Right.
those, and then so I think some of the most interesting founders and people here are the ones that are a bit quiet, and they're just kind of
Right.
pushing along and not too worried about the limelight and you know being having all the attention, right?
Right. So yeah, hopefully everything come into place, and we will have this program launching soon and benefit to the startup ecosystem here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. That's really good to hear. And but the connections to investors, will some of those founders be able to put in the capital themselves, or will you be working with other investors? How will
Yeah,
that piece
actually,
work?
we plan to do both
Great.
internally from our founders and also get funding from VCs abroad as well. Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, because it's like I think right now there aren't that many local VCs active in the market, but I think it will grow. Like of course we do a few investments with Satori Giants, but we also look at like other countries in the region alongside Cambodia. And then there's also like Choice Accelerator. They've done quite a lot of investments,
right,
of course. Mekong Strategic Capital with Sadif, and of course they just had their NAM24 big exit to Grab, which is great. We're actually welcoming Grab and NAM24 hopefully on the podcast in sometime in Q2. So that would be great, just to really try and share that story, because I think for a lot of people they don't really have that many examples of like a big exit, right, for the Cambodian startup space. So that's why I've been pushing the Grab team and the NAM24 team to say, come on guys, like come on the podcast, because I mean go on every single podcast you can go on, because the point of this is we need to get the word out that that Cambodia is a great place to do business, and there's look at this business that has grown from X to Y and now exited to the number one startup in all of Southeast Asia, right? Grab's literally a $5 billion company, and they decided to buy NAM24. So it's a great story, but we need to tell it. We need to tell it. If we want to see more investors come in and see more founders supported, that piece is also super important. And that's one of the reasons why we have this podcast, is because, and because we do it in English, because we're trying to get the story out to the most people as possible all over the world, who will start to say, okay, where am I going to invest in Southeast Asia? Oh, that's interesting. Cambodia just had that big exit from Grab to NAM24. Oh, maybe I should start looking at some deals there. And then, that's all it takes. You just create the momentum builds, and then the momentum builds on the momentum. And it creates this, like, once a few of the Singapore VCs are like looking at Cambodia, then they'll hear from their friends that, oh, these guys are looking at it. And then they'll look at it, and it's like this,
it's a ripple effect that we can create.
So it will come. It will come. It's just a matter of if, not when. So it's exciting to be on the
looking forward to
precipice.
That. I think maybe they need some time to get things ready, but I'm sure once they come to the podcast, we get to hear many learning points for the startup ecosystem here, how we can prepare themselves to hopefully exit, and for the investor here to create more hero startup. Yeah. So I think that would push more toward this ecosystem to thrive. We need more example like this.
Yeah. We need to just keep. We just need to keep pushing and keep getting the word out, and just get the momentum up again, because I feel like I think it's coming, but we got to all put in the work, put in the energy, and see what happens. So
and appreciate you've been doing with the podcast, and also with your VC as well that have support the startup here. I think like you mentioned, we need to get the word across and tell the story to international market that Cambodia we also have.
I mean the world is a noisy place, so you gotta shout, you gotta push and see what you can get out there. So For me, I mean, I honestly think if Cambodia did a strategic Bitcoin reserve, that would create so much good, interesting attention on the country. So that's also something I really want to like push on with all my
Yeah.
conversations with people and whoever could be involved in that decision. I think that would be fascinating if
Yeah.
they explored that. I mean, they don't have to do it, but just exploring the opportunity. Um, and obviously whenever we have a big exit, we need to tell that story far and wide.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
then boom, and then the Web3 space and the Web2 space will grow here. So I think that's what I'm trying to do on my side.
Yeah, that also what we try to do in our side as well. So sure, I think along the way we can find way to collaborate and get other people, relevant player to join force as well. About the reserve that you mentioned, it's something I would say it's a possibility.
I think
and
so.
now it's a possibility.
I mean, you only have to buy
right? Yeah.
just buy 100 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like
So
you don't have to even buy that many. Just the announcement would really send a big signal
right.
to the world. So
Yeah.
I think I think with enough push, I think it's something that could happen. I think the Cambodian public sector here is very innovative, and the beautiful and unique thing about this country is we are coming of age, right? Like the average age of Cambodia is 27, and we are coming of age in a very interesting time. Like we're really like the average age of Thai people is 42, Vietnam's like 33, Indonesia. So it's really only Cambodia, Philippines, and Laos that are these really young countries in the region.
Right.
And so it's like they can embrace the modernity that's existing right now and lean into it, and it won't cause too much disruption because they've got this population that's coming up that will grasp those trends quickly. And so I think we have such an opportunity for this to be like for this to be one of the next Singapore, the next like beacon of innovation in the region. And it's really just a question of if you want to do it. So yeah, that's the amazing thing about here is this country is still so young.
Right.
And the great thing about young people is that they're willing to experiment, they're willing to learn, they're willing to try different things. And so they don't get disgruntled by technology, right? If you're in Europe right now, where some countries like the average age is 45. I mean, a 45-year-old is a very different vibe than a 25-year-old, right?
Right.
So when a government says, "Oh, we're going to do this and this in the digital economy and technology," the 45-year-olds or whatever, they might be like, "Oh, no, I don't want to keep up with that stuff. Like, I've already got my email and my WhatsApp. I don't need all this other AI stuff." So yeah, I think we're at a really interesting point for this country, and just excited to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, so I'm also excited for that. So, I truly agree that Cambodia is a very young country.
Right.
And with that, we come with these young people is that they willing to accept and adopt new technology, digital solution. Like you see with the AI, it's been fascinating in Cambodia how fast it is cross sector, and hopefully with blockchain and other tech technology is that I think we have the population that can be able to adopt this technology quickly, but what we need is someone who try them, someone who connect all the dots to have this ecosystem and technology placed in the daily use case for them to adopt it. I would say we can thrive.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's great to embrace being the underdog, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, Cambodia, they don't really have it on their attention. So I think I always say this to people. They go, okay, why are you investing in like Cambodia and Myanmar and like these ones that are kind of like on the periphery? Like, oh, why aren't you doing like Vietnam or Singapore or Indonesia?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, but I think like it's like when you're in the US and you're doing VC stuff or whatever, like most of the best founders that you invest in are the people that have gone through really tough times. Like they're immigrant founders, they're they're not from super privileged backgrounds,
Right.
and because they've learned the art of really like struggling through things, like hard things. So I think when I look at like the average Singapore founder or the average like quite privileged Thai founder or this and that, like I don't think they have the energy. They don't have the energy that like a Cambodian or a
Right.
Burmese founder has. And so I'd rather bet on that energy
Yeah.
to be the transformative energy in the region than people that have kind of had it a bit too easy and it's all been a bit too privileged for them. So yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before the founders in these countries will start to really elevate themselves in the region. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think we start to see it now, and yeah, I believe this momentum is continue. So hopefully this year and forward is we have more and more people interested in this space and coming in. Yeah,
right.
and that's something we try to do is hopefully we can connect all these different people together, and so this blockchain summit is again is an opportunity for them to come, people who interested in this space to come together and
Yeah.
learn from each other and share and be able to like moving forward what we can do together. So like
Maybe at
yeah,
the
yeah.
maybe at the summit they're going to announce the Cambodian strategic Bitcoin reserve. That would be
Maybe
so
you never
fascinating.
know.
You never
You
know.
have to come to the summit
Yeah.
to know that.
Yeah, so everyone's got to show up.
Yeah.
So to just give for everyone listening in, can you tell us when, what time,
Yes.
what day?
Yeah, so the Cambodia Blockchain Summit will happening on Sunday, March the 30th. And
March,
it will be happening in our main conference and text and blockchain exhibition. We're happening in National University of Management.
Yeah.
It from 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. And after that, we will have the blockchain community gathering event and connection topic.
Where we are right now.
Yeah, where we are right now. So we invite all those developer, tech enthusiasts, all these traders, all the people who entrepreneur and people who interest in blockchain in technology space come together to join this summit, and we can see from there how we can grow and help grow this ecosystem together. Yeah.
Great. Well, yeah. On that note, I think that's a great way to finish the podcast today. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us on your second round at Rising Giants. Yeah, it's been awesome to catch up and hear everything you're up to, especially in the blockchain space. So yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Max and Rising Giant for having me. So happy to have this and looking forward to more conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.